Hey, what's up, everyone? Mike here with the watch list video for Thursday, April 4th. The SPY still stayed, it still held the 20-day, gap down a bit today, but then ran a bit. Let me slide this over before I talk about today, in case I always do this. Somebody might be watching the video for the first time. We are day traders. You can pause the video and watch that if you need to, but we start with the daily chart and look for intraday setups that we teach, right? Love the teamwork. Teamwork just seems to, I feel like somebody's always stepping up. So teamwork just keeps getting better and better. Let's keep that going. I would argue there's probably not a lot of chat rooms where everyone works together versus, right, everyone waiting for the moderator to call something and then musical chairs. We don't do that. Everything is posted, setups are posted ahead of time. Love that about you guys. All right, so I'm going to go into... Real quick, I'm going to talk about CLSK. It's back on bounce, but real quick, I just want to show you. I actually did call this morning on the 5-minute buy setup. I got long right there and sold through the high of day. It was a nice little trade. It ended up rolling over, and then when I looked at it at the end of the day, I thought, wow, this is getting closer to that support. So guess what? It's going right back on bounce watch. Did the same call with GME. Late in the day, I gave a ACB, just a fives buy setup idea late in the day. I think it was just so damn strong. It was right here on this fives buy setup, right over this candle. Stop right there, and it just grinded higher. By the way, I think it's 779. It hit in after hours. So these pot stocks are super strong. You're going to see a few of them on the list for tomorrow. Anyway, I just want to talk about a couple of them. There were several other trades, obviously, but it's just a couple. I didn't have any, like, great, hey, I can't wait to brag about this great trade. I just had a bunch of small stuff today. But I love all the people posting, you know, buy zone setups and things like that. You're doing great. Let's keep that going. So I'll just, even though I've already mentioned it, CGC, or mentioned the pot stock, sorry. CGC, extremely strong. So we're going to watch that one. You know what? Let me glance at Reddit real quick. I know it's not a pot stock. I'm going to pull that off the list. I've got a long list, and that one I don't love. So ACB, another pot stock, absolutely ripped today. Here's another one, FLGC. The reason I like this one is because you still have a recent high above to act as a potential catalyst for higher prices, right? So I think MSOS is a pot ETF. It says advisor shares, pure U.S. cannabis ETF. So the most recent high you can see is 1064. It's working its way back up there again. It's also kind of straight up to get there, but and these stocks are in favor, so I went ahead and threw that on there. MNMD, big breakout today. Maybe a follow-through day tomorrow. Also, it looks like, hey, maybe it needs to rest, but it deserves a spot on the chart. PARA buyout talks. I don't think there's been an official buyout price or anything. Did get a big pop today, so I do want to watch that for a follow-through session tomorrow. STXS, not in love with this one. Feels like nobody's even looking at it, but it did have that pop yesterday on decent volume and an inside day today. So if you get a third day play, you do have 1, 2 potential catalysts based on the chart that could yield higher prices if those catalysts are taken out. Chart catalysts. Somebody on Stock Twitch really let me have it because they thought catalysts meant, you know, an FDA decision or something along those lines, which that's also a catalyst. But I'm a pure technical trader. I really shouldn't say that because news does play a factor in how much how much weight I'll give to something, and also something running on no news, like think of a low float morning pump. I really don't like to mess with those. So I'm not pure technical. I do factor in news, and I do want there to be news if I'm looking for a pullback play or something like that, right? So you always want to be aware, and everyone in chat does a good job of that. You know, letting us know if it's just some chat room pump or something. LAC. I still like this one. Just popped here, lower high. You got this cup and handle working, but it really feels like it's coiling for something. So the chart still looks good to me, so it stays on watch. ROIV had a nice pop today. Decent volume. It had some price target upgrades, I believe. You know, so maybe back through today's high tomorrow, we've got a recent high somewhere near 12. If nothing else, maybe it's going to make a run at that. And if it gets over that, it could maybe squeeze. So a little extended, but I'm going to watch it. ABUS, big pop today, closing off its highs, but certainly had good volume. BLDP gapped up the other day on nice news, put an inside day. I should have had it on watch today, and I didn't, but I do like the way it's still building. And I do believe this one might have a 200-day in play. Let me pause this. Yeah, I just checked. The 200 days up here at 370. So if we break out over this area, you know, sometimes that 200-day can act like a magnet. So CLSK, I already talked about this one, but I mean, again, it's going to go on bounce watch. I'm now going through the list in order that I had them written down. So that one really looks good for potential bounce. Keep in mind it is a Bitcoin related play. So that might be a factor for some of you. I feel like nobody's watching Krispy Kreme anymore. Had that big pop on being in McDonald's across the country, and it's just been bleeding lower ever since. I'm still going to keep it on bounce watch, but I mean, the volume's completely dropped off, and it just feels like nobody's even looking to trade this thing. I'll keep it on the chart, but it's not that interesting. GCTS. This is interesting. It's only been trading for 5 days, and it's never broken a previous day's high. It went to new lows today, but look at opening day, went to 56, and today it hit $5. I don't know. That's not pretty, but it could give a nice bounce play setup. So I'm putting it on bounce watch, much like we did with Reddit the other day, gave a great setup, right? So I don't mind a recent IPO that's been decimated for a potential bounce play. As a trader, I don't mind that. NXL, huge move back here. And then we've got one red day. You guys know I like to see it come down at least a couple days, maybe get near the buy zone between the 8 and the 20 EMAs. But you hear me say this in a lot of videos. Sometimes something is so strong, you get one red day, by the way, on really low volume, and then it's right back off to the races. So I am going to treat it as I do bounce plays tomorrow, and we'll see if we get a setup. And then last but not least, let me look at this. Lunar, LUNR, closed about 598. I'll tell you what, just keep that on your radar. This went up to almost, I think, to 675 and after hours on, I believe, a contract with NASA. So I was going to throw it in the video and put it on Gap Watch, but it's barely gapping now. So I'll have a look at it in the morning and see if it's worth watching. All right, that's it for me. I'll see everybody in the chat room in the morning. Have a good night.